Wife takes perfect revenge from her husband who abandons her and runs away with her younger sister. Marriage is a never-ending commitment that one has to fulfill until their last breath. Jack and Laura met, fell in love, and got married. Though the couple always remained short on cash, they had immense love for each other. At least that is what Laura thought. However, everything changed one day when Laura came back home from work and saw a letter waiting for her. The letter was written by her dear husband. Jack had no guts to talk to her, and that is why he left her a letter telling her that he has left Laura for her younger sister. Well, the woman did cry first on reading the letter, but soon burst into a laugh. The woman was not going to let him go away without paying the price. She found herself a laptop and began to write a letter that got her the best revenge anyone can get. The woman was extremely happy that day. She had some great news to share with her husband. The woman took off from the work early after handing the resignation to her manager and headed for home to tell her husband a secret. She was grinning ear to ear and wondered how beautiful the day was. However, everything changed when she stepped into her house. There was a letter awaiting her. It was from her husband. She read the letter in disbelief and exclaimed, "And that's a wrap to 7 long years of marriage." Her husband was not the way she had thought him to be. Her eyes went red and she crumpled the letter in his hand. The woman was sad, but that does not mean she was going to let her husband get away so easily. She wanted revenge, and the woman got it too. She began the letter by writing, "Dear husband." Well, it did sound ironical given what her husband did to her was outright unacceptable. She was not crying anymore. In fact, the woman was in the mood to teach her husband some lessons. She wrote in the letter, "In the whole damn world, all that you found was her. Did I say her? Theirs was not a first-sight love." Laura and Jack met in their college and became friends after a few interactions. The duo started to spend their time by each other's side. They were found in libraries searching for books together, preparing together for examinations. The couple could not understand how they grew closer to each other during this all. Soon, they admitted their feelings for each other, but at that time little did they know that it was not going to be easy for them. Jack and Laura had different financial status. Whereas Laura belonged to an affluent family, Jack worked as a part-time bartender. Clearly, he was not as financially sound as Laura, and that is what worked as a hurdle in their relationship. Well, no parents would want their daughter to marry someone who was financially weak. When Laura's parents came to know about her relationship with Jack, they refused to approve of that. In fact, they tried to persuade her to end their relationship. But Laura was too much in love with Jack to listen to them. She wanted to take her relationship forward with him. Well, we should listen to our parents, for they know many things better than us. Laura's parents kept telling her that Jack is not financially strong to give her the kind of life she is used to. Though everything looks perfect now, things don't remain the same in the future. Laura, however, insisted that his love was enough for her. Laura was assertive. She was not going to leave Jack, come what may. She soon realized persuading her parents to accept her relationship with Jack was nothing but a wild goose chase. Laura took a difficult decision. She was going to leave her parents' house and move in with Jack. That day was very special for the couple. Laura and Jack attended their convocation, and after that Laura moved in with Jack. Jack used to live in a 1-bedroom apartment when Laura settled in with him. No need to say the apartment was extremely small for 2 people to live in. Moreover, the apartment was more of a mess. The heat was almost non-working and the faded walls had completely destroyed the look of the house. But for Laura, that apartment was nothing less than heaven. It was impossible for them to live their life in Jack's little income. So, Laura decided to work too. She found herself a job in a nearby steakhouse as a waitress. The work earned her good income thanks to the big tips she used to get. Everything was going fine in their lives until Laura got hit by some rumors about her boyfriend. The second best place for Laura was Jack's place of work. She would often go to the bar after completing her shift at the restaurant. It had become a ritual for her. She did not want to miss out on any opportunity of spending time with him. However, all her dreams suffered a blow when she heard a hard truth about Jack. Every time she would visit the bar, people would stare at her weirdly. Moreover, she even overheard women taking Jack's name. Though she did not pay much heed to all the rumors, Laura eventually began to give in, and one day she could not hold back her tears. The lady rushed to the bathroom to cry, but in what he saw in the bathroom shattered her world completely. The bathroom was covered with messages and hearts. It appeared more like a diary. The scribblings on the wall added to her agony, as there was a heart painted on it with the name Jack. That was not it. After that, she found something that broke her heart completely. The four walls of the bathroom also had phone numbers written on them along with kiss marks. What got her was a number that looked familiar to her. It was of Jack. Laura could not help but cry. The woman did not listen to her parents, and despite their disapproval, she stayed with him, and his man was cheating on him. She wondered where would she go, as she had left her parents' house for him already. There was no doubt left. The man was surely cheating on her. When she confronted Jack, the man answered, "If you can't trust me, then we can't be together." Jack called all his questions stupid and said that people write many things in the bathroom that is meaningless. What happened next was even more unexpected. He shooed away all her allegations by calling it nonsense talks. And after that, Jack slipped his hand into his pocket and took out a ring. The man was going to propose to her. He bent forward and popped out the question. Well, his proposal did clear away all the doubts from her mind, and the woman said yes instantly. 7 years passed by and the couple was still growing old together. Their financial condition did not change. Laura was still working as a waitress. They went through many ups and downs, but they were still together. However, their 7-year-long marriage met a tragic end when Jack abandoned Laura. He left her a letter that had some very bitter revelations. As mentioned earlier, the couple did not have a sound financial status. The income they were getting was enough to meet their ends, but it was not enough for a growing family. That is why Laura used to buy lottery tickets every now and then. The woman had won a ticket the day she got the letter. The day was indeed very memorable for them. She had not told her husband about it and wanted to give him a surprise, so the woman booked 2 tickets to Hawaii after she learned that she had won the lottery. The woman was full of excitement and joy. That day she rushed home to give him this beautiful surprise. Her happiness knew no bound. She entered the house with a big smile, but all her happiness faded away when she didn't find him in the house and saw the letter addressed to him. She began reading the letter. "Laura, my dear wife, I am writing this letter to tell you that I am leaving you forever. And the fact is that in these 7 years of marriage, I have been a good husband to you, but somewhere you lacked." Laura wondered if that was a prank. She had not completed even the first half of the letter. Tears began to trickle down her cheek. It was difficult to believe that her husband had left her for no reason. The woman had sacrificed a lot for him, and this is how he paid back. The letter further stated, "These last couple weeks have been really hard for me. Your boss told me that you left your job just today, and that was the final straw." His husband had eloped with another girl whose name he mentioned in the next line. The letter was full of complaints. Jack did not pull his punches in criticizing her. The woman kept reading it till the last word, and when she was done with the reading, Laura felt sad. But all her sadness turned into a big laugh. Why was she laughing? Had she lost her mind completely, or did she have something else on her mind? Jack had left no stone unturned to make Laura feel guilty. Her 7-year-old husband listed all his complaints. He wrote, "2 weeks ago when you came home after work, you didn't even notice that I had cooked your favorite dish." Laura decided to write a letter to her dear husband too. She took her laptop and started typing. The letter began, "Dear husband, believe me, one thing, getting your letter really made my day. Yes, it is true that we have been married for 7 years, but a good husband is completely different from what you have been, and as far as my favorite dish is considered, then let me remind you, that day you prepared pork, something I have left eating since so many years. It is something my sister Carla eats and not me." She gave an equally befitting reply to Jack's next complaint as well. The next complaint of Jack was related to his new haircut that Laura failed to notice. Laura had a very funny answer to his question. Well, she had been trying to not to hurt his feelings, but maybe now was the time. Laura explained, "I noticed that haircut but did not say anything, as I thought you looked like a girl in that. And I prefer to stay silent rather than saying something like that to you. And as far as your third complaint is considered, it was exactly where you lost it." Jack preceded the letter by criticizing his wife for not seeing his new pair of boxers that the man had recently bought. Laura replied, "When it comes to your new boxers, I didn't comment since you still had the $49.80 price tag on them, and I hoped that it was a coincidence that my lovely sister Carla had borrowed $50 from me the same day." Amongst all the things that Jack mentioned in the letter, Carla, who was Laura's younger sister, had a connection. The pork was what Carla liked. Carla was the one who borrowed money, and the name that was mentioned in the next line made things all clear. Jack made everything clear. Either you don't love me anymore, or you are cheating on me. Whatever the case, I have to say it is over and I'm leaving. P.S. Please do not try to find me. Your sister Carla and I are moving to West Virginia together. Wish you the best, and I hope you have a great life." Laura, who always doubted that Jack had an illicit relationship with her younger sister, could not help laughing when it finally got confirmed. It was time to drop a bombshell on Jack. It was time to tell him something that he must not have imagined in his entire life. Laura wrote that she already knew that something was going on between him and her sister, but she always denied that and prayed everything will get okay with time. But now, as everything was gone, she decided to let Jack in on one of her family's secrets. She writes, P.S. I believe I haven't told you this, but my lovely sister Carla was actually born as Carl. I hope that is no issue for you. Whoa. This was something unbelievable now. If only we could see Jack's impression when he read the letter. Jack must have not imagined it in his wildest dream. It won't be wrong to say that Laura has had perfect revenge. Her betraying husband is going to remember it all his life. Maybe he would regret the decision of leaving her. But now it was too late to correct it. Laura went on to explain that she still loved him despite all his betrayals, and that is why she had bought 2 tickets to Hawaii. However, touring in Hawaii was not in his fate. Everything happens for good. And the reason to quit her job? Well, the woman put down her paper because she had won the lottery that was worth $15 million. She wanted to spend some good time with him instead of spending time at work. And now Jack's letter had clarified what did he exactly want. Laura had a lot to say. After revealing that she has won the lottery, the woman made it clear to him that he is not going to get anything from that money, and she also told him not to come back to her. She concluded, moreover, according to my lawyer, the letter you sent me ensures that you won't get a dime from what I got now. So, there is nothing more to say but take care. The woman did not cry any longer. She was happy that everything got cleared at the right time. Laura sipped some wine and pressed the send button. Her phone chimed with notification, your message has been sent. Laura has had the best revenge any wife can have on her husband. After being done with the letter, Laura hired a taxi and headed to the airport. The woman started a new life by leaving behind her failed marriage, her cheating husband, and everything pertaining to Jack. She made herself comfortable in a taxi and asked the driver to drive her to the airport. Heaven was just a few hours away from her.